The Utah Tech swimming team is competing this week at the WAC Championships in Texas. But for one Trailblazer captain, just to be there at all is nothing short of a miracle. Sophomore Allie Boynton was near death only 2 years ago during her senior year of high school. But she overcame, and now she's one of the top swimmers in the Western Athletic Conference in her event. This is the story of Utah Tech sophomore Allie Boynton in this edition of Trailblazer Tales.
Okay, it was my senior year at Woods Cross High, and I was going to my championship meet, which was here at Dixie State or Utah Tech, and I finished my entire championship meet and I had like some arm pain, like it was right in my bicep. Didn't really know what it was. I got home and it started just like getting worse and worse over time. I showed up to the next practices and my arm started turning purple at practice. So we knew something was wrong, but we didn't know what it was. I went to go see a sports medicine doctor, and when they hadn't even taken me back to the room yet, but they just saw my arm and they noticed that it was just swelling and purple, and they diagnosed me with a blood clot and rushed me to the IHC hospital in Salt Lake. And there I had the blood clot taken out and broken up. I was diagnosed with Paget-Schroeder syndrome, which is when your first rib is compressing on your vein that runs from your arm to your heart and caused the blood clot. The surgery that you have to follow up with that is that you get the first rib removed. Then I had a first rib resection on April 1st. 4 days later, I had complications with the medication they were giving me, and I had internal bleeding. I had a tube coming from my chest out to a bag, and there was blood coming out of there. So then they were like, oh, this is really bad. And I lost about 2 liters of blood. And then I went into surgery to get it all fixed up, make sure there was no scars, get blood out of my chest cavity. My left lung collapsed in that time, and good thing I'm a swimmer because I have a really strong right lung. They got it all taken care of. I ended up staying in the hospital for 13 days and 12 nights, and then I was in the intensive care unit for 4 nights. They sent me home, and then I didn't come back to full-time swimming until August when I came to school. I was recruited. I signed for Utah Tech in December of 2020, so my coach had been there through everything that had happened, and then the coach had quit in the end of July, and I had a new coach, Dan Kessler, coming in August. So it was scary to start when I had been out of the water for so long, and I wasn't allowed to use my arm for like 3 months after the surgery. So just the fact that I was getting in swimming repetitive again was a lot to work with. I had my first meet since the surgery in October, and I did pretty good there. I mean, as good as I could. I wasn't super happy with the results. And then about a month after that, my first rib spontaneously broke on the other side. So one had been removed on this side, and then the other one got broken just from overtraining and repetitive movement of my arm. So I was out of the water again, and I couldn't use my arms for about 3 more weeks. And then I got back in the water a week before our invitational meet in November, and I broke 3 records of the schools. So that was accomplished. That was really cool. And it was like emotional for me just because it was back in the water. I didn't know that I would be able to even swim at this point. And for me to go break those records, get personal best times, that was the best I could have asked for. I mean, my parents have told me, I've told myself that what's happened is a miracle, just because when I was in the hospital, like, it was very scary. I love swimming and I love to race, and I was not about to give that up. I had made goals when I was young that I wanted to be a college swimmer. I wanted to make these times that I'm making, and I never doubted myself. Like, I have teammates now, and then I tell them this story, and they say, oh, I would have just quit then. Like, I would have been done as soon as I would have the blood clot. Like, there's no reason you should be here today. And I never even thought about quitting when I was in the hospital. I never thought that I would have to be done swimming. I knew that whatever happened, I would be able to get back in the water. Maybe I wouldn't swim as fast as I would, but I knew I'd be able to get back in the water and race again. I think of it in the hardest sets and in the hardest days where I just want to be done, and I say, like, you have no reason to be done. Like, you've worked too hard for this. You deserve everything you've been given, and you have to keep going. I'm ranked second in the WAC conference right now for my race. So just that alone. And I was able to compete at the US Open meet in November. So that was really cool. Even after, when I got out of the hospital and everyone told me, like, you could have died there. Like, that would have been it, and you're not supposed to be here right now. You're not supposed to be swimming with everything that has happened. That just made me stronger. And it makes me love everything more and love the water more. And you need to, like, take advantage of this time that I have, just being able to swim and being able to swim as well as I can, because it wouldn't have happened without the support that I had with my family and the strength that I had in myself that I would keep swimming.